Hey everyone, this is Cullah Hale-Benz from Destination Thrills, and I'm here with my review of one of the most surprising roller coasters in the world, and that is Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom in Louisville, Kentucky. And what I mean by surprising is, looking at this ride from the naked eye, it doesn't seem very impressive. Opening in 2014, Lightning Run's ride height is 100 feet and only has a top speed of 55 miles per hour. This is far from shattering any world records, but this roller coaster was geniusly engineered to make the most of its stature. Lightning Run is a Hyper GTX model from Chance Rides, and this model was intended to emulate a 200-foot hypercoaster, but with half of the height and the length. The nickname for this model is Mini Hyper, but honestly, this coaster is more extreme than some of the hypers I have ridden. The snappy twist and 9 powerful ejector airtime moments makes it one of the most intense roller coasters out there. And that is what makes compact coasters so interesting. These are typically the layouts that have the most power and the most oomph in their performance. Now, because of its appearance when I was first getting in line for my first ride back in 2017, I didn't have high expectations. I heard positive remarks about this ride from others in the coaster community, so I figured I would enjoy it. But after getting off the ride, I was stunned with how strong this coaster performed. Check out my reaction after my first ride.
Alright, we just got off a Lightning Run. It was sweet! That was, we heard a lot about it coming in, but it was amazing.
So as you can tell, we really enjoyed it. I was super pumped and I had all my adrenaline in high gear and was completely ready for more. This is one of those coasters that you get off the ride and get right back in line. So let's start talking about the ride experience. First of all, the restraints have a similar feel to the ones you find on RMC coasters, which are these tight lap bars that keep you inside during all of the insane ejector airtime. This may cause thigh pain for some, but for me personally, I have not had an issue with this. So you start off the ride by climbing up this 100-foot tall lift hill alongside the road that runs right through Kentucky Kingdom, and this gives you views of the entire park if you look to your left and right. Looking forward, you get a great view of the parking lot. Now, as you creep closer to the top of the lift hill speeds up, giving you some momentum for the first drop. And the first drop is quick, but the 80-degree angle of descent gives you some stomach-tingling sensations as you go down it. It almost feels like you just fall right off a cliff. After this drop, you make a sudden left turn with strong positive G's and up the first camelback. Now, this camelback has the longest duration of ejector airtime, equally as good as the first set of camelbacks on El Toro, just not as tall. Now, coming out of this first camelback, you hit a hammerhead turn to the left. This is a tight element, but not something you're really going to remember after you get off the ride. After this, you have a quick airtime pop and then suddenly make a left-hand turn. Now, the left-hand turn is interesting because it has this wave turn feel to it. You don't get the noticeable floater air that you do on Outlaw Run's wave turn, but enough to make the element interesting. After this, you have one of the most fantastic head choppers as the ride goes beneath the section of track you just crossed, and I think this head chopper is perfect because you don't know it's coming until you're there. Plus, the head chopper is during an ejector airtime hill, so there is just a lot of sensations happening to you at one time, which creates that wow moment. And honestly, I ducked at least the first 3 times that I hit this section, so it was really surprising and really well done. Now, after this, you make a sharp right turn into another airtime hill. There are tons of laterals in this moment, and all of those forces seem to shift rapidly into negative G's as you hit the airtime hill. And then as you come down, you rapidly go back to lateral G's as you exit into another right-hand turn. And the elements just keep coming at you. You hit a weird outward bank airtime pop. There is so much twisting that is happening in this section that you really feel as if you're out of control and at the mercy of Lightning Run. You then drop down into a series of speedy S-curves. This is a fast-paced section and reminds me a lot of the Rhino Rally section on Cheetah Hunt. Just not as snappy as the change in directions on coasters like Maverick at Cedar Point. Now, after the S-curve section, you get to my favorite part of the ride, which is a series of extreme ejector airtime moments, one after the other. It feels like you're on a bucking bronco. This part of the ride has the strongest airtime and on some days can mirror its younger sibling Storm Chaser for most violent finale. After this, you slam into the brake run and your lightning fast journey is over. So let's get into my ratings of this ride. Now, if you haven't watched one of my review videos before, I will be rating this coaster off of 5 categories: intensity, fun, uniqueness, comfort, and duration. I will then end with my overall rating of the ride. In all categories, the scale is 0 to 5, 0 being absolutely horrible, to 5 being perfect. So let's start with my intensity rating, and this coaster certainly brings it. 9 strong ejector airtime moments with sudden sharp turns that really apply all the forces desired to your body. Again, I credit the compact nature of this coaster, and it is the reason why it gets a 4.5 in intensity. Next is fun. The ride has tons of variety and elements, and the layout really doesn't allow you to prepare for what is next. Plus, Lightning Run has great interaction with its own structure. It is a pretty fun ride and deserving of a 4 rating. Next is uniqueness. This is currently the only operating Hyper GTX model from Chance Rides, and although it has a similar feel of an RMC, it has its own unique style to it, so I will give it a 4.5 for uniqueness. Now moving on to comfort, Lightning Run is a very smooth steel coaster. No rattle, no headbanging, just glossy smooth. I have heard some complaints about thigh bruising from the tight lap bars and strong ejector airtime, but like I said earlier, I have not had any personal issues with it, so I am giving Lightning Run a 4.5 for comfort. Now let's talk about duration. The most incredible thing about Lightning Run is that the track length is only 2,500 feet long, yet the ride does not feel short at all. Chance Rides was able to pack in so many elements, and although everything is hitting you quickly, you still feel like you got a satisfactory ride duration. Bravo to the designers on this one for getting the most out of the track length provided, because I have been on much longer coasters that don't give me the same satisfaction on duration that Lightning Run gives. So for that, I give it another 4.5. So with all the 4.5 ratings I have given Lightning Run, it is no surprise that my overall rating is a 4.5. I think this coaster is perfect for its model. It is amazing how incredible this 100-foot tall 55-mile-per-hour coaster is. The only reason why I don't give it a perfect 5 is that Lightning Run is just not on the same level as The Voyage or Steel Vengeance, which are deserving of their 5 overall ratings. But 4.5 is a super high score and one that Kentucky Kingdom fans should be proud of. So as you can tell, I think Lightning Run is such a great coaster, and I hear other enthusiasts rave on this ride all the time. It really surprises me that Chance has not been asked by smaller theme parks to build more of these models. I think it gives you the maximum thrill with a small footprint and a small price tag. I don't think it will be long before we see the next Chance Hyper built, and that is something I will be covering in my next video, so stay tuned for that. But until then, Lightning Run should give you more of an excuse to visit Kentucky Kingdom to experience this unique and intense roller coaster. Now, have you had the chance to ride Lightning Run? If so, leave your thoughts about this roller coaster in the comments below. And as always, if you like this review, give it a like and subscribe to Destination Thrills, the destination for all the latest theme park news and content. I am Cullah Hale. Have a good one.